And then I'm gonna make you the co-host. Who do I throw the baton off to? Joseph, you or Alex?
You can throw it to me after.
After? Okay. Oh, by the way, everyone coming in, okay. Good afternoon, Alex. Okay. By the way, every time you come in, make it a habit of putting your name on the chat, and then also taking your phone, showing it to us, and then putting it away. Okay, so that you are not looking at your phone. Okay. Okay, those are the two things, right? So just make it a habit, right? So that you're constantly doing that every single lecture. So between Joseph and Alex, who has the row sheet? Do you both have the row sheet?
I do.
I have it too, but it's all Alex.
Okay, so Alex, you're taking the row. So just let me know if everyone has actually joined in, because I don't want to start without, you know.
I messaged them, reminding them that class is starting at 3.
Okay, great, thank you. How are you guys doing? So far, so good. Enjoying your summer, kind of, right? Good weather today. Okay, everyone is putting their first and last name up on the chat. Good. Oh, yeah, Nicole. Please turn on your camera. Thank you. Okay. All right. So my name is Paulie. I will be the instructor for the semester. Joseph Ortiz here and Alex Newport will be your trainers. Okay. I'm gonna have them introduce. Okay. Say hi to everyone.
Hi, I'm Joseph Ortiz. I've done sim last summer. It's a weird transition going from in-person to online, but we're here to help you best we can.
And I'm Alex. I'm here to make sure you guys are focused and here to learn. Yeah, just helping make sure you guys do well in the class.
Good. So majority of the time will be spent with Joseph and Alex, not with me. I am the coach here. I am the instructor that I'll be going through and giving you an overview. I'll be kind of overseeing the whole process here. But a lot of the time you'll be relying most of the time with Joe here and Alex here, okay? I will be here and there. You could email me, but if you have any particular type of question, you always want to ask these two people trainer. They're the best right here, okay? I do admit, this is my first time going through the SIM program, okay? I did teach several semesters, several years at Cerritos College, statistics in Cerritos College, but I have never taught this program before. This is my first time. So if I goof off, if I have mistakes here and there, please bear with me. Give me some leeway here, right? Okay, I do apologize in advance. Okay, I will try not to mess up all that much. Okay, so far so good. Okay, any question? Okay, so this will be our usual meeting time. Of course, you have your schedule, right? And then always Alex will be reminding you and Joseph will be reminding you that you have your schedule meeting and so forth, okay? Any questions so far? So far, so good. Okay. How many of you guys actually read module?
Thank you.
Oh, who?
Sorry.
Okay, how many of you guys already read the module number 1 and went through the module number 1?
Yeah, I checked it out, the Ed puzzle. It was just a little confusing at first because I had done it once and I went back to look for it and it said I didn't complete it. And it made me
Yeah, so
everything.
there. So I heard from the earlier classes that I heard that in order to get full credit for going through, so you have to actually mark. So some of the pages you have to actually mark as done. Okay, up on the right-hand corner, and once you click on that, it checks it off. But there's another that is being graded, Module 1 Lecture Knowledge Check Review. Okay, that one you have to actually watch the whole video. Okay, unfortunately, there was a glitch. Okay, and they're working on that right now to give you guys a full credit. So some students have already watched the whole thing, still got 0 out of 5. They're like, what's going on, right? So they're working on that. So be patient with them. You know, the technical problem will smooth that out eventually. Okay, and don't worry about that points. Okay. So far, so good. But for those of you who haven't, please go through it. Of course, we're gonna actually go through part of it, right? Skimming through it today as well, giving you a brief overview of what's gonna be, right, of your module number 1. Okay, of course, Joseph and Alex will go in more detail, kind of answering your question about the module number 1. Okay, I'll give you the overview of what we're gonna be looking at for module number 1. So far, so good. Any question?
So I'm not sure if I missed. Did you say the phone part yet? If they can get up and put their phones on the side?
Right. So I asked them the two things. Always make it a habit of putting your name on the chat. Okay. First and last name, and then also showing us your phone and then putting it somewhere you cannot, reach it, right? So that you outside, whatever it is. Those are the 2 key things that you need to do once you always come in the room or come into the lecture, okay? 2 months. So first, so good. Yes, question.
I had a question. So on the Canvas, when I was going through the module, where it said like where you have to mark it as done in the corner, it said that, but I don't have anything to mark. Like it doesn't have.
Yeah, there's some pages and some modules that do not have that mark it as done. So you just click the next one, and then it will just put a check mark by that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
So there are only a handful of things that or module that has a mark it as done. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't worry too much about that. Okay, for now. Okay, we'll be more specific about those later on. Okay. Any other question? Okay, welcome, right? All right. So without further ado, one other thing I want to mention is that, I haven't got into, give me just a second. I want to go into my Zoom here.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Where's meetings here? Okay, so here we go. Okay. So I have 2 accounts. You notice that you see 2 of me, Paul E, right? Okay. I do this because my tablet, when I switch from one application to another application, I can't see all of you guys here. Okay, and then it also, one other bad about using a tablet here is that it actually turns off my cam. So unfortunately, you won't see me during the time that I actually write things down or sharing my screen, right? But I could all see you guys, okay? And if you have any question, please unmute your mic and then ask questions, right? If I want you to participate, I want you to answer question, unmute yourself and do that as well, okay? So far, so good. Okay, all right, before we start, right? Anyone have any inkling about what statistic is all about? What is statistic?
Isn't it just
You guys went through module number 1, right?
Information, lots of information and data.
Informations and data, very good. Okay, anyone actually looked up statistic, the word statistic? No. Okay, it is actually information and data, and it's more specific. It's actually a sample data. Okay, so there's two terms in statistic. That's why it's hence statistics, right? The course is called a statistic. There's two terms that represents data. There's what we call the population. Someone's actually calling me. Okay, there's population data, and there is what we call the sample data. Okay, population data is considered to be what we call parameter. Okay, and sample data is considered to be what we call statistic. Okay, there's the two different type of data that we deal with, right? Okay, so why is statistics so important? Okay, because population data, if we have a population data, right, and we could find population data for any information that we want to get, there's no need for statistic. There's no need for statistics class. Yeah, we don't need it. Then we can figure out all the information from population data. Okay, we could figure out the average, standard deviations, and all sorts of information, and compare the information and so forth. Okay, unfortunately, it is extremely difficult to get population statistic or population data. Then what do? We rely on sample. Okay, and that's what we're going to be doing. So what we do is we say, suppose that I want to give me information that you want to actually give me something that you are interested in and you want to find more information about. Give me a subject, whatever it is. Anyone, volunteer. Give me something that you're interested in. Sports. So you guys are all in sports, obviously, right? Okay. Anyone?
You want us to randomly call on people? We can use the stat crunch.
Oh,
It's up to you.
I think we're okay. Sports. Anyone? No? Money. You guys are all interested in money. No? Cars?
Shoes.
Shoes? Purse? Oh, purse? Right? I don't know. Anyone?
Do you want us to give you like a brand?
Any sub-
What what exactly are you asking for? Like just
So any information that you want to figure out. It doesn't matter.
just say like a sport and you'll just like give me information on it, or like what?
No, like say, so say like, because I don't want to give you a boring information. Say I want to figure out, say average height of all Cerritos College student. That's what I want to figure, like, so some information that you want to actually learn, right? So give me a topic.
Like an average goal scored per player for like a soccer player.
For soccer, I believe that you are a soccer player, right? So for women's soccer player, what is the average goal, right? Per season, say, right? We'll say per season, right? So what is an average goal score per season for a women's soccer player? So in order to figure out and get that information, what's the first thing that we need to do, Cassandra?
You have
Sorry.
you have to find like your variables, meaning like the people.
Don't be technical about this. Just be reasonable. Just think about it in manner. So if I want to figure out, what is the average goal score per, for women's soccer player per season, right? What would you need to do? So think of yourself as a statistician. What's the first thing that you would have to do?
You would have to find a team to find a team to collect the data from.
Very good. So not just the team, you would have to go around. So you're curious about all women's soccer player, right? Okay. Say we'll just say collegiate soccer player, right? All college soccer player, right? Collegiate, right? Then we would have to go to every single college and ask all the women's soccer player how many goals they have scored, right? Per that season, right? How long is it gonna take you? Say we'll just do USA.
I don't know, like a lot.
It's gonna take you a long time, right? Maybe weeks, months, right? Maybe even years to actually go around and then collect all those data, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So that is nearly very not impossible, but it's possible, but it takes tremendous amount of resources and time. Resources meaning money. You probably have a group of people probably helping you along, maybe teams of people help you along and gather these data, right? Okay. What we're trying to do in statistics class is we're trying to actually, right, represent the whole population without actually getting the whole population data. We want to do, maybe get a few people here, maybe 1,000 people in California, maybe 1,000 people in Seattle, 1,000 people in every state, and figure out what their average score per season, right, for all the women, right? And then I gather all those data and then say, oh, I can say that this is roughly, right, this is going to represent the whole population without actually taking every single data from the woman, right, collegiate woman player, right? And it takes less time, but it might be a little bit inaccurate, but it gets very, very close to it. And we will talk about the accuracy and then how to calculate that accuracy later on. So far, so good. And that's the overview of what statistics is going to be in this class. Learning how to actually collect the information that you want to do, right? We want information to find out, collect the data, organize that data, and summarize that data, and make an inference about a population. So there's two halves here in statistics. We have what we call descriptive statistic and inferential statistic. There's two halves. Okay, the descriptive statistic part is the first part of the statistic, is basically learning how to collect the data. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to collect the data. And once we collect the data, how do we organize that data, right? And then summarize that data and figure out information, and then do an inferential statistic. That will be your inferencing about a population using a sample. And that will be your second half of the semester. Okay, second half of the semester. Okay, so far so good. That's basically the overview of your statistic. Okay. All right, so now that you kind of know what the overview of what you're learning about, right? Collecting data, right? Figuring out the information. It's impossible to get the population. There are possibilities if you have a small population, right? But most of the time we're looking for those populations that are impossible to get. So we'll look at a sample to represent the population. Okay, that's why sample represents statistics. Okay, sample data. That's why the word statistic is considered to be a sample. All right, so now without further ado, I'm gonna actually start sharing my screen here. All right, you guys see this right here? Okay, and you guys are all good with this? All right, you got all, okay. Before I go on to the lecture material, is there any question? Any question? So far, so good? All right, so you're gonna be looking at, okay, this right here. This will be our textbook, okay? And you guys all know where to find this right here. Okay, let me get a thumbs up if you know.
No,
and for those of you,
No, I'm not sure where you're supposed to find
so
this.
there's a thumbs up button here. You could have a thumbs down button. Oh, there's no, yeah, there's a thumbs down button. I think participant here. Let's see more. Oh, there's a thumbs down button for me here. That's no good. Okay. But you could do a virtual thumbs up if you, but there's someone who said, oh, I don't know exactly where it is. It is actually here. Okay, so if you go under the home tab here on your Canvas site, okay. All right, so you notice right here, textbook chapters, right? And then when you click on this, it gives you a link to download a PDF version of your textbook. Okay, so first look at, I think it just gives you the first module, unit number 1, module number 1. I think it's about 10 pages long, right? You can just download that. It's a very small file. It's a PDF file, right? And then you could download that and look at those, okay? So first look at where to find your textbook, okay? All right. All right, so this is what this is right here. Okay, so here, there are some icons that you need to actually kind of get familiar with, right? So we get the bullseye arrow, right? Learning objective. You get the pencil, which is your write this down. We get the key phrases and so forth. This has nothing to do with statistics. It's just the textbook where you could actually key points, right? Okay, try. So these are icons that tell you, oh, try this without looking at the answer first, right? Important question, right? Check this out and so forth. Okay, these are some icons that you want to look at here. Okay, all right. So now I know you told me that everyone should have gone through the module number 1, the videos and so forth. So you should have a somewhat definition of what data is. Right? What is an observational unit? These are our learning objective. What is a variable? In terms of statistic, not algebra, what is a numerical and categorical variable? What are discrete and continuous variable? Okay, now if I ask you this question, find the average height of Cerritos College student. Okay, now if I ask you this, right, from this question, right, what would be your observational unit? Anyone here? Let's
repeat that again?
pick on. Excuse me?
Can you repeat that again? I didn't hear.
What will be your observational unit? Find the average height of Cerritos College student.
The students at Cerritos students.
Right.
We'll be
Cerritos
looking for their
College
height.
students will be your observational. What are you observing? You're observing Cerritos College students, right? What will be your variable?
The height.
The height, very good, right? So, you know, each student, when I measure their height, we're observing each student's height, right? So a Cerritos College student will be your what? Okay, observational unit, you're observing each student's. And then what are you measuring? You are measuring their height, right? So not everyone's height are exactly the same, right? They're not, you know, 5'9" all the way across, right? It varies from one individual to different individual. One might be 5'9", one might be 6'3", right? So hence the height will be, measurement of height represents what we call the variable, okay? All right, so now, so here, looking at that variable, which is your height, okay, what does that represent? Is that a numerical variable or a categorical variable?
Numerical.
Numerical.
Numerical, height represents a measurement in numerical, right? In numbers, right? Okay, 5'9", 6'3", right? 6 foot, right? 5'2", and so forth. So that should be a numerical, right? Okay, now looking at that numerical, is that the number data, is that a discrete or continuous? I'm asking all this because you went through the module number 1.
Continuous.
Is it discrete or continuous?
Continuous.
Continuous, very good. Any measurement like height, weight, right, are considered to be a continuous, right? Okay, cannot be counted, right? Very good. So basically, we just went through module number 1. Okay. Of course, ask just a question. You notice that we could actually answer all of it, but we're going to go in more specifically and go through the definitions and so forth. Okay. So far, so good. Any question? All right. Let's look at. Okay. The first thing we need to do if we are going to have successful semester is to get on the same page with terminology. Terminology, again, if you're learning any type of, so statistic is, so you're in a math class, and math is a different type of language. Okay, and when you're learning a language, you need to know what? Vocabularies, right? Vocabularies, you got to build up your vocabulary to actually speak that language. Same idea if you're learning French, if you're learning Spanish, if you're learning English, Japanese, Chinese, whatever it is, right? Arabic, right? You need to know vocabularies, right? And the meaning behind it, right? Terminology. So we're going to go through some of these key terminologies and phrases and so forth, okay? Data is what? Information. And that was Angie that was doing that information that, you know, she could hit that high note pretty good. That's amazing. Okay, so data is a factual information that can be used as a basis for reasoning, discussion, or calculation. Okay, so in this class, we'll always want to discuss data in context, meaning always keeping the meaning and application of the information in mind. Statistical question involves a sense of wonder, question that we can investigate but possibly never know the specific answers. Okay, why? Because it's impossible for us to, when we want to study some information about a population, it's impossible to, a lot of the time it's impossible for to gather the whole population data. So therefore, it says, possibly never know the precise answer because we're not able to get all the population data. So what do? Some example of these questions include, what is an average height of women, all women over age of 18, okay, who play basketball in school, in high school? Is it true that 42% of men in the world's favorite color is blue? Okay, I like blue. I think that's one of my favorite color, I think, right? But is it 42%? I don't know, right? To answer these questions precisely, we will need to measure all women in the country and survey every man in the world, in the entire world. Is it possible? It could be, right? If you had enough time and money and resources, right? Right? But it's not feasible, right? Process by any means, not feasible process by any means. So what do? We can instead get a fraction of information and use that to estimate the answer, right? The information that is collected, right, is data, is the foundation upon which we not only build our response to a question of wonder, but also formulate more. We can figure out more information, right? Questions from the result we obtain. Okay. Any questions so far before we move on? So far, so good. Okay. When researching using data, right, we are interested in certain characteristics. There's, right? And what we want to do is we want to figure out, again, observational unit. What is an observational unit? What are we observing, right? Observational unit is an individual or thing in which we collect data. Okay, the characteristic of or information that we collect data is called the variable. Okay, so these are the two definitions or two terms and the definition along with it. Okay, so we need to know how to precisely identify what these are by looking at some of the statements, for example, here. Okay, so when we look at this right here, a study states that the average height of girls who play basketball in high school is 68.4 inches with a standard deviation of 2.3 inches. Okay, just ignore the standard deviation for now, right? We'll learn about what standard deviation represents later on. But can you actually identify what is your observational unit? Looking at the statement. What will be your, Adriana? What will be your observational unit here? Who are we observing here?
The height of the girls who play basketball.
Oh, very good. So not just, so we would leave out the, so who are we observing?
The girls who play basketball.
Oh, very good. So there is a good answer, there's a better answer, there is the best answer. Okay, so I think the first answer the first answer was actually a little bit better than the second answer. You answer, the girl who play basketball, right? Okay. How many girls play basketball? There are a lot, but more specifically, we wanted girls play basketball in what?
High school.
In high school. So it actually eliminates some of those other, right, women player who actually play basketball. Get the idea, right? So you have a good answer. You could get a what? A better answer. You could get the best answer, right? Okay. So the quality of your, right? So more specific is going to be better. Okay. So far so good. Okay. All right. Let's look at here. Alex, what will be the variable here?
Me?
Yes.
Oh,
Alex.
Alexis.
Alexis. Yeah, that's fine.
Alexis. Okay,
That's
Alexis.
fine. Alex is fine. Would it be the 68.4 inches?
What are we observing?
Oh, we're observing the height.
Good, right? We are observing the height, right? We're measuring the height, right? Okay, from the girls who played basketball in high school, right? So therefore, your variable should be the height.
Height.
Okay, very good, right? Let me ask you one more further question. Patricia, is height continuous or discrete?
Continuous.
Continuous, very good. We just learned that continuous, right? So now let's look at here. Okay, the next statement. It is true that 42% of all men in the world's favorite color is blue. Okay, Nicole, who are we observing here?
We're observing how many men.
What's your observational unit?
How many
what
people?
Did you say?
Blue.
Observational unit. Who are we observing?
Men in the world.
Oh, better answer will be all men in the world, right? Okay. So far so good. Okay. Let's see here. Who else can I pick on? Okay. Is it Merck? Am I pronouncing your name?
Yes.
Can you pronounce your name for me?
It's Mirka.
Mirka? Okay, so I did. Okay, Mirka. So what will be your then variable here?
The favorite colors?
Yeah, very good. Favorite colors, right? So that will represent variable, right? Okay. So looking at those right here. So the variable favorite color, is that a numerical variable or a categorical variable? Is color in numbers?
Circle.
It'd be categorical.
It will be categorical. Colors are not numbers, right? It will be categories into maybe red, blue, and so forth, right? Okay. Yellow. So therefore, this is a categorical variable. So I'm just giving you a little bit further, right, information, okay? A little more information than that, okay? All right, one other thing is that keep in mind, in any study, you may have more than one observational unit and oftentimes more than one variable, okay? So any data set that has exactly 2 variables are called bivariate data. Okay, so this is just a definition of a term, bivariate data. Okay, exactly 2 variable data is called bivariate data. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so not just by looking at the what we call the statements here, by looking at the graphs, you should be also able to figure out what is your observational unit and your variable here. So let's look at this one right here. Okay, for each of the graph that follows, identify the observational units and the variables. Okay, so here, Andrew, what will be the observational unit here?
The individual players or their
Okay,
goals.
so that's a good answer. What would be a better answer?
The individual player stats for 2019, the goals they scored.
Not the goal, observational unit. Okay, Cassandra, would you have a better answer to an observational unit here?
It would be the individual player stats from the 2019 Soccer's U.S. Women's National Team.
Ah, better. So who are we observing? So we are observing the 2019 U.S. National Women's Team, right? Okay, more specific. You could say, oh, you could say U.S. women's soccer player, right? How many women's soccer players in the United States? Pardon my French, there's a shitload of people, right? Right? But you don't have U.S. women's national soccer player team, right? There are only a handful of those. Those are the elite, right? So therefore, it's the best answer will be the, right? The soccer player, U.S. women's national soccer player in 2019. That would be the best answer for your observational unit. And what are we observing here? What is the variable here?
The goals scored.
The goal score, very good. The goals, that will be your variable. Numerical or categorical? Numerical, of course, number of goals, right? Numbers, right? Discrete or continuous?
Discrete.
Discrete. Can you count all the number of goals? Yeah. Okay. You cannot have infinite number of goals, right? Okay. You could have maybe, someone who scored hundreds of goals, but still countable, right? Okay. So long as you are able to actually count, doesn't matter how long, right? It's considered to be a discrete. So for example, if I give you something like number of M&Ms in the entire world, is that numeric? Is that discrete or continuous?
Discrete.
Discrete. How many M&Ms in the entire world? Probably what? Billions, probably trillions, but still, it still can be counted. If given enough time, we're able to count all those M&Ms, right? And so forth, and still considered to be a discrete numerical variable, right? Rather than continuous, okay? So far, so good, okay? All right, so let's look at actually a bivariate, right? Observational here, okay, or variable. Okay, so let's identify the observational and your variables here. So what will be your observational and what will be your variable?
The male and female be the observational.
So good, male and female sprinter. So you didn't read that, sorry, maybe I So this is more specifically male and female. Those are your two observational units, right? Then what will be your variable? What are you observing from them?
The reaction time.
Reaction time. So therefore, the reaction time right here will become your what? Variable. Okay. Of course, is this reaction time a numerical or categorical? Numerical or categorical?
Categorical.
Numerical.
Reaction time. Numerical. So this represents time, right? In milliseconds. So those are in numbers, right? So you could say 10 millisecond, 100 millisecond, 300 millisecond, right? You could have 300.01 millisecond. You could have 300.0.0001 millisecond. There are infinitely many milliseconds in between. So therefore, this is continuous, right? Numerical variable here, okay? That's one answer. There is actually two answers to this. There is the two observational unit. This is what we answer. Two observational unit and one variable. So one observational unit is the female sprinter. The other observational unit is the male sprinter, where the variable represents the reaction time. Over here, you could actually think of this as a one observational unit, as just the sprinter, right? And then from there on, it branches out into two variables. We have one observational unit, two variables. One variable is the gender, okay? So are you female or male, okay? And what's your reaction time? Okay, so those could be your two variable, okay? Gender and the reaction time could become the variable. Of course, this will be, your gender will be categorical. And this will be, reaction time will be numerical. Okay. So far, so good. Okay, two different type of variables there. Okay. Any questions so far? How are we doing with time? We are almost there. Okay, let's look at the contingency table here, what we call the two-way table. Let's look at what we call, this is the true bivariate variable here, data. So identify the observational unit and the variable just by looking at this. Okay, what will be your observational unit and what will be the variable here? Who are we observing here?
The driver.
Oh, very good. The driver. The driver is our observational unit. Okay. What will be your variables?
If they use cell phones and if they speed.
They were very good. Okay. So here, so we have the observational unit as a driver. Okay. And then your two variables are the cell phone usage and the what? Speeding violation status, right? Okay. Last year. So those are what we call, and this right here is considered to be what we call the two-way table or contingency table. We're going to be looking at something like this later in what we call the inferential statistic using what we call chi-square. Okay, chi-square inferential statistic. Okay. All right. So let's look at this one. Let's try this. Okay. Identify the observational unit and the variable here. What will be the observational unit? This right here is a bar chart. Okay. Later on, we're going to be learning how to organize these type of data, right? This is called what we call the categorical data, right? So categorical data, we use bar chart to organize our data. Okay, of course, we have a numerical data that can be organized similar fashion, and we call that a histogram. The difference between a bar chart and histogram is that bar chart does not touch, as you could see. Histogram does touch. Okay, but looking at this, that's later chapter or later sections, right? So looking at this, what will be the observational unit?
All the students.
All the students. Very good. So that represents all the students. And can you be more precise, Adriana?
Is it all students in school or in like college?
In community college, most likely, right? Why? Because we usually tend to actually transfer out of community college to a four-year university, or right, four-year college. We intend to transfer, not intend to transfer, right, from there on, right? So under 25 or over 25, right? So we have full-time. Those are different types of categories that we see there, right? So we have under age 25, we have intent to transfer, we have full. So therefore, what are your variables here? What are your variables? I just mentioned it just now.
Their intent to transfer, if they're full-time or not, and if they're under the age of 25.
Very good. So groups, age groups, enrollment intent, right? And your enrollment status, right? Okay, those are your different type of groups that we're looking at, and 3 variables there. Okay, so far so good. Any question? How are we doing so far? Okay, piece of cake, right? Not so later on. I'm sorry. But this is not too bad, right? Due to the time constraint, I'm gonna have Alex, and we get Joe, right, to go over some of this right here. I just want to cover this portion right here. Again, I want to kind of define the technical definition of your categorical and numerical. Categorical variables, right, and data are characteristics that do not have an objective question, right? Numerical data are numerical characteristics that can be measured in objective manner: height, weight, age, vehicle mileage, account balance, college unit, and so forth, right? So these are some examples of your numerical, okay? So there's 2 different type of, so it branches, your variable branches into 2 different. So once you identify your variable, you have to identify, is it a categorical? Is it a numerical? And once you identify if it's categorical or numerical, in this case numerical, it actually branches out into 2 different numerical data, right? Numerical data branches out into what we call the discrete and continuous. Okay. And before I actually go on to the discrete, again, one other thing, not all numbers do not automatically make data numerical. Okay. Zip code, area code. What are zip code?
Yeah, location, a number for our location.
Location, very good. Even though zip code, right, is say 90210, 90210. Anyone know where the zip code is for that? There was a popular show. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know that show. Beverly Hills 90210. You guys know? Oh, come on. I'm not that old, right? So there was a show called Beverly Hills 90210, Beverly Hills, basically, right? That's a zip code. It's a location, even though it's a number, but that number, so say, suppose that if you have, say, let's say Jersey, right? So anyone know, so 2308, okay? Anyone recognize the Jersey number, 23? Famous Jersey number? Who plays basketball?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, right? And what about 08?
Kobe Bryant.
Ryan, right? So therefore, I didn't want to do 24 and 23, right? So here, notice this right here, right? If we subtract this, we get 15, right? Does 15 mean anything? No, you can't actually subtract this. This number is linked to a person, and this number is linked to a person. And you can't subtract one person from another, right? So therefore, this is non-numerical. Even though it's a number, but it's non-numerical, it's actually categorical, okay? So far, so good. Okay, of course, I went through this multiple times. Discretes are limited in what values can take, right? It's countable, right? Of course, continuous is non-countable, it's ranges. Okay. Oof. And here is the graph form, what we call the, right, a tree diagram of the variable, how it's broken up into categorical, numerical, discrete, and continuous. Okay, so far so good. All right, so now I'm gonna give you guys about 10-minute break. You're gonna stay in the same Zoom meeting, right? But what you will be doing is, Joe will be taking, Joe, are you gonna be taking over?
Yeah, so make me host and we'll enter the tutor session.
And then at, I believe at 4 o'clock, 4 to 4:50, he will answer all your question about the module 1 material or any other question. And Joe, can you please go over with them? So let me actually, can you please go over with them the dice applet, right? Through the Stack Crunch, right?
Yeah.
And also, can you just have them, remind them that there is a quiz that is going to be, okay, I'm reminding you again right here. Okay. There's a quiz that is going to be due on Tuesday,
Tomorrow.
I believe, right? Tomorrow,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it'll be during the independent tutoring session.
Okay, good. So nice meeting you all. This is just the start of the madness, basically. And we'll have 6 weeks, we'll go through it, right? And then Joseph here and Alex will be very, so this is the go-to people, right? For you guys in this class right here, okay? They'll help you out. They're gonna be a tremendous amount of help. I thank you both, right? So now, without further ado, I'm gonna actually pass the baton off to Joseph here. Oh, Alex, I need to make you a co-host too. So let me make her a co-host. Sorry, co-host, yes. And then I'm gonna make Joseph the host, okay. All right, so I'm leaving it up to the trainers here, okay?
Yeah.
Be nice to them, right? If I hear anything bad, right, you're gonna get it. No, just kidding. All right, so without further ado, all right, have a nice, afternoon afterwards, right? And I'll see you guys on what, Wednesday, right?
I think so.
And I think Joseph and you're gonna be in the Tuesday meeting, right? Or Tuesday Zoom meeting, right?
Yeah, we'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, for Wednesday, we don't have anything mandatory, do we? I was just looking at it right now.
No, I think it's all recommended. But the more you're in there, the more help you get. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna pause.
Record it. Yeah.
All right, so we were here. All right, what about observational unit?
Individual, can we collect the data from?
Yeah. All right, variable?
That's the number or category that we're collecting, right?
Yeah, so yeah. What about bivariate data?
That was answered, right? Hold on, sorry.
That's correct.
Okay.
Who had bivariate? Anybody?
Any data set that has exactly 2 variables?
What about categorical variable?
Variables that divide subjects into groups.
Right, so can you give me an example?
People that like the color blue.
Yeah. All right. What about numerical?
A characteristic that's being measured and compared.
Characteristics that's being measured or compared. How? Can you be more specific?
Like in an objective manner. Isn't it like it has to do with numbers?
Yeah.
And
But can you give me an example of that?
like height or like when you're measuring height or weight. Like
Okay.
numbers.
Alex, do you think that's more categorical? Or you think it's numerical?
What was that?
The height?
Height
Idea?
was categorical.
All right. So can you come up with another example maybe?
Speed something's going at or age. Numbers.
Okay. Yeah, speed, I would say. What about a discrete variable? What is a discrete variable?
Discrete variables are limited in what values they can take.
Yeah, so like a finite number.
Yeah.
So like number of people who like blue. Or
No, not you, Joe. Someone else give an
oh.
example.
Sorry. All right. What about continuous?
It can be like an infinite numbers or like values between two specific variables.
Okay. An example of that would be what?
An example could be
Time.
Say that again.
Like time.
Time?
Yeah, just like time in general.
Okay. I don't think we went over confounding today.
No.
Hey, real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, but would you want to explain to me how height is categorical? I'm a little confused.
I guess it depends on the question that's being asked. How many people are a certain height, sort of.
Yeah.
Numerical, more how many people.
Categorical would in height would be like how many people are below 6 feet tall. They're in that category of people, like grouped.
And
Okay.
how did,
So yeah, like Joseph said, it's all based on the question, right?
More or less, but a lot of it is it's almost very obvious when you see the setup of the question and everything. Like the graphs that you've seen in the videos, they have, when they ask you what's this, what's that, you can really tell up front what it is. Like you won't be asking like your trick questions.
Okay, definitely. Thank you.
That was it for that, right? Does anybody want to share the dice, how to do a dice roll on StatCrunch? That's 2 spins.
For whoever shares their screen and shows us how to roll the dice. Stop share and then let's see who wants.
I can do it.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, let's do it. What is that, Patricia?
Yeah, Patricia? Yeah. Let me know when you're ready or if you need any help.
Yeah, sorry, it's not letting me share my screen.
What does it say?
It just says error.
Okay. Can anybody else share their screen?
Did you make her
I didn't have to last time.
Hey, Patricia, are you on a Mac?
No.
Okay, never
Let me see. Can you try it again?
It still won't let me.
Okay, well, here, this is the last time. I'm gonna make you co-host. And go ahead, try to share one more time.
Still not.
No? Okay. Well, if anybody else, give it a chance. We'll give you one spin since you participated.
What are we supposed to do? A roll dice?
Yeah, on StatCrunch, roll the dice.
I could try it.
Video.
Yeah, okay. Share your screen. Let me know if you're having a problem with that.
In the meantime, does anyone have any other questions regarding the material or anything?
You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
I had a question about the quiz tomorrow. Do we have to like take it at a certain time, or do we just have to do it by the end of the day, or how does that work?
I think it's going to be during the independence session. You have to be there for an hour. I'm not sure if they're going to ask you the questions when you get there or how it's going to work specifically, but it's going to be tomorrow during that hour that you're there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So it's in that hour from 10 to what?
Whatever time you show up, because I think it's from like 10 to 2.
Yeah.
So whatever hour you choose to show up.
Okay.
After this, I just put complete.
Okay. I think you picked the wrong one.
Yeah, so get out of that one. And then go to applets.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I go to simulations, right? And then
So I think
dice roll.
Go to experiment.
Which one?
Experiment.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
The other one is for like when you want to do more than one at a time. So right now we're just showing you how tedious the process is going one at a time. And then you're able to go by hundreds next time.
So I just click roll die.
Yep. Nice. Do it a couple times. And then from there you can press analyze, right?
Yeah. So.
What if you wanted to order the rolls? You know how you would do that?
So, hold on. So basically, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically there on the right-hand side, you see how it has all the rolls. It has which numbers he got when he rolled. And at the bottom, it says sum of 4 rolls is 12. So it tallies it up for you, like the total of the dots out of 4 rolls. And then when you go on the left-hand side on rolls, I'm pointing again. In the gray part of rolls,
hover over it.
that black arrow, you would sort the table in ascending or descending order. And that basically gives you the order in that. Not necessarily in the order you rolled it, but from biggest to smallest. You could also do from smallest to biggest. And I think you guys should have seen the video by now. It tallies it up. Like you would normally write it down all yourself, this information, but this applet allows you to just roll, and then it gives you the totals. So you don't have to do it. And it keeps track of how many rolls as well. So if you're doing an experiment, you're supposed to do 25, 50 or whatever. You don't have to keep counting or writing it down. It keeps track of it for you. Cool?
Yeah.
Everybody can do this? Cool. All right, you can stop share. Thank you.
All right.
Those bubbles are messages we're getting from Pronto, by the way. I know they're kind of annoying.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were hearing that the other day. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, just exit out of Canvas and it'll stop.
I need Canvas up.
You need Canvas? Okay. Do you guys have any questions so far? Anything?
So what's the main use for Pronto again? Or what's I have the app, but I wasn't able to get into it yesterday, and it's the same problem for me today, but I'm not sure what we use it for.
So Pronto is for you to ask questions if you have anything, and you also get alerts from us or from the course, and just kind of updates on what's going on if there's something going on.
We'll get the same thing through email though, right?
Yeah, email or Canvas, because Canvas has that messaging inbox thing.
Cool.
That you could use. But yeah.
For the module 1, like learning check or whatever, is that the quiz for tomorrow, or is that something we have to do tonight?
So module 1, you're supposed to do that before lecture so that everything he's teaching you kind of familiarize yourself a little bit with the terms and sort of the things that are happening.
No, I meant the check, the knowledge, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's the same thing. It's module 1. All of it is module 1. And the quiz for tomorrow is on module 1. It's gonna be like terminology. So everything we've talked about, like in the video, in class, and right now, whatever you guys ask, the examples that we give you guys are pertaining to that quiz that you're gonna take. So it'll fully prepare you. So if something isn't clear, ask away.
For the modules, are we gonna get like updates on when they're ready to work on, or do we just check by ourselves?
Usually you want to do that before class starts. You'll get the announcements on Canvas, I believe.
Yeah.
Set
Maybe
up.
check it like an hour before class. Maybe a little earlier, but
Just so it's fresh and you kind of like learned a little bit what's going on. So you're not totally lost, like, oh, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, so let's do some pop quiz stuff. So what is an observational unit in your own words without looking at your notes?
The individual being observed.
Okay. And that could be, it could be an individual and it could be a thing. Like they did in the video, I think it was a Toy Story toy.
yeah.
What are your variables?
The information we collect for the data.
Yeah, from the observational unit. What is a bivariate variable?
Then when there's only 2 variables.
Good. What are the 2 types of variables?
Numerical and categorical.
Good. And what is a categorical variable?
And then when a variables in a category such as gender, color.
Okay. What's a numerical variable?
It's a variable dealing with numbers.
Okay. What's an example of a numerical variable?
Age.
Okay. What are the 2 types of numerical variables?
Continuous and discrete.
And how are they different?
Discrete is a set amount of numbers, and continuous is like an infinite amount of numbers between 2 specific variables.
Okay, so what's an example of a continuous one?
Continuous variable could be age.
Not quite.
Wait.
What's that?
How would that not be? Because
Wait.
don't you continue to get older, so the numbers continue?
Well, because usually we say this person is 10 years old. We wouldn't really say this person is 10.5 years old or 10 point. I mean, you could technically be continuous, it's a little iffy, but I mean, if you ask someone their age, they're not gonna tell you, oh, I'm 25.5 years old, you know?
Would mileage be an example of continuous?
Yeah, because you go, 21.5 miles, 69.7 miles. Basically, well, like,
For the age thing, I think it's when you're jotting down the data, you're not really gonna change it to 25.2, 25.3. It's gonna stay constant.
hmm.
So when you get it, you're gonna be like, how many 25-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds? They're not really gonna change. It depends on the question, I feel like.
It depends, but just try to remember that it's more discreet than anything, because you're not going to be like, well, my mom is 55.5 years old, like it's one number without the point.
So with height is continuous because you say 6'1", 6'2". So anytime it has quote unquote a decimal, it's continuous.
Yeah, that's if it has an in-between value in between the numbers. So like in the video, it said 8 pennies, 9 pennies, but you can't have 8.1 pennies.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. What kind of graph do you use to graph categorical information? That one's a little specific, but.
Is it a histograph or what is it called? The histo.
Almost. It's similar to that though.
Bar graph,
There you go. Bar graph.
because they don't touch.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Let's give you guys some spins for participating. You guys have been great.
I have the sample questions too, if you're done. Or if
Yeah.
you want to do the spins right now?
Just do your sample questions. After that, I'll do it.
All right. I have them somewhere. Hold on. I have too many stuff open.
Any questions in the meantime? We're here to answer your questions. So you guys asked me if I was gonna be like, if we were gonna be in the same group, and I said no. I later found out we are gonna be in the same group. And I was like, oh God, I answered that question wrong. I don't remember who asked me that. And I was like, nah.
Okay, hold on. I gotta put this in Paint.
So how are our tests gonna work? Or finals, whatever you want to call them.
We're not there yet, I think. We're still trying to figure that stuff out.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. Because this has been a big transition, trying to get all this stuff ready just for the orientation. And module 1, we're working on trying to be like one step ahead at least.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard to get everything else ready.
But don't worry too much about it. Just keep looking at the modules, keep it fresh in your mind.
So
We'll make sure.
Ask like any weird trick questions, anything like that. There's no such thing. You just look at the modules, read through the material, do the homework, ask questions. Does somebody else have a question?
So right now we are staying in these groups for.
I think for the rest of this time.
Right now we're like in the.
Yeah, your teal kestrels. And every time you look on Canvas for your schedule or any announcement type of thing, whatever, look at your group name.
Okay, that confused me earlier because I thought my Zoom was at 2:00.
Yeah, I actually emailed Professor Yi about that because on our Canvas it says 2 p.m., but on a whole other thing it says 3.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me, and I ended up joining the wrong Zoom. So.
Yeah.
Can you share where you initially thought it? Can you share your screen so I can see it?
Oh, I could. Let me grab my phone. I could show you. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, because the original class said it was from 2 to 5.
Well, on one on my Cerritos it shows 2 to 5, and 2. See, I'm probably not gonna be able to see this. Oh, there you go. That's exactly what I was just looking at.
Go for it. Oh, it says 2. Okay.
Yeah, it says 2 there, and then if you log on to my Cerritos and check your class schedule, on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday it's 2 to 5. Friday it's 10 to like 150, I think.
Yeah,
Make sure that we
That's
take that
what
off.
it
that's
said.
what it was saying for me too. So I was confused, and then yeah.
Thanks for being patient. We're fixing little things here and there. Just make sure you follow that schedule when the sim itinerary and not those pictures.
So it's based on the color, right? Not what
Yeah.
this is. All right, cool. Thanks.
So then after this week, like once we finish this week, the color will be updated for next week's too?
Shouldn't change
Or
color.
is it all?
The same color, different schedule. Like it won't change drastically, just a little thing here and there.
Okay.
Just follow teal kestrels for the rest of the semester.
All right, thank you.
All right.
You got it, Joe?
Yeah, I got it. So you can see the paint one, right?
We can
See
see
the question?
question 1, yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and look through this right now. Look through the information, and then I'm gonna ask you the questions at the bottom. There's more. I just need to scroll down. Give you a few minutes. Okay, so who wants to do the first question?
I can do it.
Go for it.
So I'll read it. The accompanying table gives a population of 6 U.S. states with the largest populations in 2008 and the areas of these states, and it's naming off the states. And number 1 says name the observational units, and those would be the states, which are Pennsylvania, Illinois, Florida, New York, Texas, and California. And the variables would be the population and the area, which is square miles. So far, I see it looks like they're all numerical. I don't see any categorical variable or anything categorical except for the states. But and then I just saw the other questions. Let's see. Okay, so do you want me to go into 1D as well?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I lost the page I was on. But yeah, those were the answers. Nice job.
Does he get a spin?
Yeah.
I think he should get a spin.
One second.
You guys are great at participating, by the way. I appreciate you guys' enthusiasm. You know, sigh.
Here we are. Okay, who wants to answer 1D? Determine and report the ranking of the population density by dividing each population by the number of square miles to get the population density. This is the first one. He's ranked 1 for the highest density. So what do you need to do to get the population density in the beginning, first of all? If anyone can answer what population density is.
The amount of people in a certain area.
Yeah. So how would you find that, given the information we're given?
Well, would you do what it says? Divide the population by the area?
Yeah. Do you want to do it and tell me which one is the highest? Is there any issues with this? Everyone understands what we're doing?
Yeah,
This is going to be pretty much your quiz, I think.
You just divide the population on each, like for example, Pennsylvania, you divide the population by the area?
Yeah. Is it the area, the population by the area, or the area by the population?
I believe it's the area by the population, no?
Okay. Area by population.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Divide each population by the number of square miles.
Okay, thank you.
So anybody have these worked out?
Almost.
Okay.
It is. Would it be New York?
Give me 1 second. New York would be what? The highest, right?
Yeah.
All right. What about the lowest?
Texas, right?
Yep. So nice job. Did anybody else get a different answer? If you did, we need it also that way we can help you and see where you went wrong.
Yeah, let us know. It's not a big deal. It's your first day.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, follow up.
Even if it was your 10th day, it's not a big deal. Let's let everyone finish it, maybe? Just
Okay.
make sure.
I think people are still trying to finish it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I got the same thing as him.
All right. So what was the first one? The one with the highest population density
New York,
and the lowest.
Texas.
Let me know when you guys are all done. I'm gonna ask you for the second, Patricia. I'll ask you for the third, Cassandra. Alexis, you got the fourth, and then Ariana, you got the fifth. Here, 1 second.
Everyone good? Any questions? No?
Sorry about that. This is a more difficult question because it involves a lot more.
Computation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good practice, and if you guys get stuck, it's good to ask questions.
A lot of people have problem with the percentages too. Not really the stats.
Yeah, more the math.
So you asked us to give you, so like you told me to give you the fifth one. So you want me to do the fifth lowest, or like the
I think I told you the third. What
third?
like so in descending? So we got the first and the sixth, but what's the third?
Oh, I got Pennsylvania.
Give me 1 second. Yes, good job.
Nice.
For the fifth, I got California.
You might have done something wrong. What was your first?
For the oh wait, I think I went backwards. Sorry, I went the other way.
Okay.
You're descending or ascending?
From one descending. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? That's ascending?
Yeah, that's ascending.
Ascending?
Yeah, ascending is from lowest.
Going up?
Yes.
Okay.
Descending is dropping.
Yeah, listen to Alex.
Come on, Joe.
It's my first day.
Don't be confusing this group, okay?
This is your group.
Exactly.
I'm trying to win.
No. Don't let Joe confuse you.
I got my own group to worry about.
He's just kidding. Stop it, Joe. He's fully invested in you guys' success. Don't worry. And if he's not, I am. So.
You asked for the fifth, right?
Yeah.
Which one did I have to get?
The second?
Second is Florida.
Yep. Nice job.
Nice.
Which one did I get?
The fourth.
Would it be Cali, California?
Yeah, it's California for the fourth. Nice job. And the last one?
Illinois. I think.
It's the fifth?
Yeah, Illinois.
All right. Nice job.
Cool. Let me do the spins, and then we'll see if you have room for anything else. You good with that? All right, let's see what we have here.
Was I supposed to keep track of the points?
No, I got it.
Okay. You want to write them down?
How many people we got in this class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 total, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I got it. So this one, so Nico gets 3 spins. Let's see what we have. You get 2 points. 2. 2. All right. So 6. And then this one's for Alexis. What?
You look disappointed, that's why.
What? Well, because I saw someone get 10. I don't know where. And I was like,
That's your team leader, by the way. She's giving you those points.
excuse me, this is randomized? This is randomized. Okay. So this is Alexis. He gets 1, 5. Yay. 2. Andrew. 5. 5. 8. And then Ariana gets 3. So 2, 3, and 1. This one was for Cassandra. So Cassandra gets 3. So 5, 3, and 3. And then Patricia gets 3. 5, 3. Okay, you guys. You guys got hella points. Yes. I know this seems kind of dumb, but it's great, isn't it?
It gets me through the session.
Yeah, it's like a happy time. I don't know.
Everyone gets points.
Yeah, it's like Oprah. You get
The points is like extra credit, right? Or
Wait, what can you do with the points? You get like
yeah.
Your team all together. So your team all together,
Okay.
maximum number of points for your exam. I don't know if they figured out that number yet, but you guys are all competing with other teams.
I don't know, but y'all participating, so y'all get points, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Wait, who left? And I didn't even notice. Cassandra left.
It's right there.
She's there. Okay. What I noticed, I'm over here spinning this thing. Okay. So you got 7 minutes.
This time's yours. You can ask whatever questions you want. If you have any troubles with anything.
Yeah, you guys have any questions?
You're supposed to have Quizlet, Flipgrid, and something else too by tomorrow. The earlier the better.
We had an assignment on Flipgrid, actually. We had to record ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, data is information.
Nice.
Are we supposed to use the same email we have like with the school for our Flipgrid?
Preferably, I think, but I don't think it's a.
I use my personal email.
Yeah, I don't think it's an
Whatever
issue.
you have attached to the school, the better, because then we're able to attach that to you. So if we're ever lost, we just know that, okay, that belongs to her.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a question about homework actually, because it's like we have to turn it in like with our notes and stuff. I don't know where I read that, but it said like you have to turn your stuff in. Where would we like turn in stuff? Like on our StatCrunch or?
Did you do the module?
I just need to do that video because I watched the video, but it didn't like check mark it. So I think I don't know if I have to watch it again or something.
Yeah, that was bugged out. I think they're trying to fix it. But
When you see the video, you're talking about the one that had the timestamp, so when it asks you the question during the timestamp? Or are you talking about the last dot plot video?
The last dot plot video.
yeah, so it's kind of bugged out right now. They're trying to fix it. We'll make sure that you guys get the points for that. If not, just email us again. Email Angie. She's kind of in charge of it.
Angela.
And yeah, make sure that we follow up on that.
Okay.
But most of it should be like that module. Any assignments you turn in, I don't think you're gonna have to like scan like your notes or anything.
Oh,
I could be wrong, but that hasn't been brought up.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that either. But yeah, just go through it so you get the points and everything, because you need to have like watched the video and everything to get the points. You can't just click next and get credit.
I tried.
Yeah, no, I didn't try that, but we'll leave it to Joe to do that.
I was trying to help my team.
No. Anything else?
All right. So tomorrow you have that independent study session for that hour. And then there's a tutoring session, I think, after from like 2 to 5. So if you have any questions, again, you can pull up there. That's a recommended one.
So during the mandatory hour, we're gonna take that quiz that you guys are talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The data is information. You guys were supposed to answer that in unison. You're like 20 voices. Information. Yeah, I don't have anything else. I asked them my question already.
I have more questions, but they're kind of all the same.
It's gonna take forever too.
Yeah, they're a little longer than 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer. But yeah.
Have you guys taken stats before?
Yeah, I took it in the fall and I failed.
This is gonna be a lot better for you because it's a lot more hands-on. You have more people trying to help you, but it is 6 weeks, so.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a lot of modules going on.
Yeah.
But they're cut pretty short. I think they're like only 5 minutes each, maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Is the modules the only homework we're going to get, or is there like a stat crunch stuff we're going to get too, right?
I think you're gonna get stat crunch stuff, or you might have to show us stat crunch stuff on the sessions or maybe labs.
Okay.
Yeah, experiments to apply the stuff that you're learning to something like real world.
Yeah, we're trying to make you use it more and more because on the test, I think you're given a chance to use it, and there's questions on it, at least like 10 or 15. I remember from last time. I don't know about this time, but yeah.
So why do they say stats is so hard? Isn't it literally just basic math? And
It's a lot of vocab and math. So a lot of people don't I think when it starts getting to like lines of regression and stuff like that, people start freaking out. But yeah.
But it's still basically basic math. Like
I was scared when you said that.
multiplying, division, fraction, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people don't have the math requirements because I don't think they have them anymore. You can just take this class. You don't need to do like, I think math 40 or whatever.
60, 40, 80.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
It's a lot of vocab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just make sure if you guys like maybe make some flashcards or something, kind of keep track of it.
We'll probably do it here too. We'll do the Quizlets. Let's see how what you guys know, what you need to work with.
Yeah, kind of test yourself. Even if you don't know the exact like definition, just an idea, you can kind of work yourself through it in an exam or something. It's helpful. But I think we can let you guys go now.
Yeah. All right.
It's enough torture for one day.
So that's it for today.
Cool.
Thank
Thank you guys.
Thank
See you
you.
guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.